Hello and welcome. The title of the message today is Life is Like a Box of Chocolates. But let's begin by affirming together our opening statement. There is only one presence and one power in my life and the universe, God. I invite you to join with me in taking a deep breath and releasing that breath and relaxing into this moment. Opening ourselves to Spirit, the teacher within us. Thank you, and so it is. So, life is like a box of chocolates. In the opening scene of the movie Forrest Gump, there's a feather that's floating down, and it's meandering its way until it finally rests at the feet of Forrest. And there's a lady sitting there next to him on a bus, waiting on a bus on a bench. And he says, my mother used to always say, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. And I'd like to speak about that today. Let's consider the words of Jesus as recorded by the author of the Gospel of Thomas. And I'd like to share with you from the translation by Marvin Meyer, saying number 29. Jesus said, if the flesh came into being because of spirit, it is a marvel. But if spirit came into being because of the body, it is a marvel of marvels. Yet I marvel at how this great wealth has come to dwell in this poverty. We'll look at that verse again later. But let it rest in your consciousness for now. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. In the movie Forrest Gump, Forrest seems to be set with many, let's say, trials or hardships in his life. His first pair of shoes, he remembers, were braces that were put on his legs to correct a curvature of his spine. His mother told him it was like a question mark, that his spine was like a question mark. This is a seeming hardship, and it was obviously quite hard to live this life. But by enduring these hardships and not letting it, let's say, get him down into despair and self-pity, he overcame. The braces straightened his back, strengthening his character. And I can remember there was a scene after he had met his Jenny that the schoolboys were picking on him, throwing rocks at him. And Jenny says, run, Forrest, run. And he begins to run with the braces on his legs. Stiff-legged running. As fast as he can as they're chasing after him on bicycles. And as he's running, the braces fly apart. And Forrest discovers the freedom of running on his own. And he runs fast and outruns these bicycles. So this hardship that he had to endure was overcome and led to his freedom in running. And he says he began to run everywhere he went. And this running that was a result of the hardship of being taunted and rocks thrown at him at school became the next hardship that led, so that throwing the rocks and the taunting at school, because this continued in high school, he was outrunning vehicles by then. They were driving the cars, the same bullies at school, and he was running from the car. This led him to run again and showing how this taunting, which was a hardship, was endured. He runs across a football field. And there at the high school field was a talent scout for no other than Paul Bear Bryant at the University of Alabama at Tuscaloosa. And Forrest outruns all of the football players on the field, even the receiver catching the ball, and impressed the scout. You know, life is like a box of chocolates. There are so many things that happen in our life we could never expect. Hardships and joys. When Forrest was a child and got on the school bus for the first time, no one would let him sit down until there was a young lady who said, "You can sit here if you like." And he stood there. He thought he saw an angel. This was when he met Jenny. So again, we see not only hardships, but beautiful things happen in life. And you could say that the hardship of him not being let to sit in any of the other seats on the bus led to his discovery of his Jenny. And if we fast forward to the end of the movie, spoiler alert, Jenny gives him a child. Nearly on her deathbed, Forrest finds out that the one time that he lied with Jenny, up to this point, he fathered a child. The highlight of his life, his destiny, if we can say that we have a destiny, was to father this child and raise him up, little Forrest. Life is like a box of chocolates. We never know what we're going to get. But what we can know, what we can do and have control over, is the way we respond to these events. Can we, like Forrest, not allow hardships to bring us down and to lay us low? Can we see past them to something that is greater, that is inside of us? Something greater in the midst of the trials and hardships of life. Life is like a box of chocolates. We never know when we're going to see beauty in our life. Can we appreciate this beauty for what it is? A gift that we are given to see as the beauty that it is. And know how that beauty affects our life. How we allow it into our consciousness in the same way that we allow hardships into our consciousness in the way that we choose. We can choose to ignore the beauty and only see the hardships. Life is like a box of chocolates, and we never know what we're going to get. We can see it for what it is, and it is an opportunity. We can see the beauty and grow from it. We can see the hardships for what it is. And it is an opportunity again to grow. I want to read that quote from Jesus that's recorded by the author of the Gospel of Thomas one more time. Life is like a box of chocolates. We never know what we're going to get. Jesus said in the Gospel of Thomas, saying number 29, if the flesh came into being because of the Spirit, it is a marvel. If this material world, this life that we experience in this relative world came into being because of Spirit, because of the divine, it is a marvel. This life is a marvel. But nearly impossible. He continues by saying, but if Spirit came into being because of the body, it is a marvel of marvels. Did our spiritual life come into being because of things that are happening around us? Because we have this body? Because of our brain or our heart or any of these things? Then that is truly a marvel of marvels. It's just really impossible. It has to be that this life came into being because of Spirit. That Spirit was the originator of everything we see and experience. Even the reality of us. Spirit. God is Spirit. And we must appreciate and love God in spirit and truth. It's not our outward demonstrations. It is loving God in our heart, giving our attention to God in every moment, throughout life. Seeing the wonders of this world and its hardships from the point of view of God. And Jesus continues, yet I marvel at how this great wealth has come to dwell in this poverty. This poverty of materiality, of the relative realm. We can marvel that we are blessed by this presence while we are in this body. I would like to read saying number 29 one more time. Jesus said, if the flesh came into being because of Spirit, it is a marvel. But if Spirit came into being because of the body, it is a marvel of marvels. Yet I marvel at how this great wealth has come to dwell in this poverty. Life is like a box of chocolates. We never know what we're going to get. But one thing we can count on is all of this. Whether it is part of the hardship or a trial or the beauty and one of the wonders of this world, it all is a result of Spirit. Spirit, in whom we live and move and have our being. Spirit, who is among us and within us. Spirit. What is this Spirit? How do you encounter Spirit in your life, which is like a box of chocolates? How does Spirit, expressed through you in this box of chocolates, where we never know what we're going to get. We have a choice. We have within us that presence always. Spirit is in this body. This seeming poverty of a body is the dwelling place of the divine. We are that. We are not this body. And that is a wonder of wonders. You deserve the love of God. And all God asks is to love him back, to love her back. What is the greatest commandment? Jesus said, to love the Lord your God with all of your heart, with all of your soul, with all of your spirit, and with all of your strength, and to love your neighbor as yourself. Not the way that you want to be loved, but as yourself. There is no difference. There is no other. We are one in God. This is the vine, and we are the branches, all part of the same vine. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. But one thing we can know is that Spirit is among and within all of it, waiting for us to feel that presence in our life. Open that box. Take a chocolate. Put it in your mouth and feel its flavor in your life. Let's close with our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever I am, God is. Thank you.